Let's go Broncos! Something that could completely change the trajectory of this team, not just for this season, but for the next 3 years. A play so strategic, so unexpected, that it's causing a stir among experts and dividing fans. Some call it genius, others, a risky gamble. But one thing is certain, it's bold. And it may be the clearest sign yet that Sean Payton and George Payton aren't just trying, they're trying to dominate. So, before revealing all the details of this play and explaining what it really means for our future, be sure to like this post right now if your blood is orange and blue, and leave a comment below saying, "Go Broncos! We're going to the Super Bowl." I want to see how many true fans are with us through thick and thin, because believe me, you'll want to stick around to see what happens. Now, let's get into the real story here. In what can only be described as a significant vote of confidence in the offensive core, the Broncos have officially extended center Luke Wattenberg to a 4-year, $48 million contract. That's right, $12 million a year, making him the 6th highest paid center in the entire NFL. This move isn't just about one player, it's about continuity, identity, and the long-term vision that Sean Payton and George Payton are shaping for this franchise. Wattenberg, a former 5th-round pick, was set to hit free agency in March, but Denver clearly saw enough to lock him down well before that happened. Since becoming a starter, he's played in 24 games, and while he's had some rough patches, like the 5-penalty disaster against the Bengals, he's rebounded strong. That's what growth looks like, and more importantly, that's what belief from a coaching staff looks like. They see the bigger picture. They see that Wattenberg, Powers, Mainers, and McGlinchey together form one of the most cohesive offensive lines in football. And cohesion like that, you can't fake it. You can't buy it overnight. It takes reps, relationships, and leadership. This deal tells us that Denver is dead serious about maintaining the stability in the trenches. Every single starter on the offensive line is now under contract through at least 2026. That's huge. And that's no accident. This is Payton and Payton putting their stamp on the team and saying, we're building from the inside out. We're protecting Bo Nix. We're committing to the run game. And we're keeping the heartbeat of the offense intact. Speaking of Bo Nix, this move benefits him immensely. Having a reliable center who understands protection calls, who knows how to anchor the interior, and who's built chemistry with the rest of the line is a game changer for a young quarterback. Wattenberg is more than just a name on a roster now. He's a foundational piece. And yes, some will question if he's truly worth top 6 center money, especially considering the inconsistencies earlier in the season. But since that Bengals game, he's locked in. The penalties are down. The assignments are sharper. And his confidence? Through the roof. Let's also talk about what this extension means culturally. The Broncos are showing loyalty to their own. They're rewarding development. They're signaling to the rest of the locker room that if you put in the work and buy into this system, you'll get paid. You'll be valued. That creates a winning culture. It creates competition, but also unity. That's how Super Bowl teams are built, not just through talent acquisition, but through identity and trust. And Wattenberg isn't alone in this discussion. This extension puts the spotlight on other pending free agents and forces us to ask, who's next? John Franklin Myers appears to be off the table for now, with the front office not showing interest in negotiations at the moment. But that still leaves 6 names to watch. Malcolm Roach, Josie Jewell, Justin Strnad, J.K. Dobbins, Drew Lock, and Adam Troutman. Now, if you ask me, 4 of those names jump off the page as absolute must-resigns. Roach, Dobbins, Singleton, and yes, Jaquan McMillan. Especially McMillan. This guy has been lights out. His performance against the Chiefs? Electric. His growth? Incredible. He deserves to be part of this team's future, and honestly, it would be a mistake to let him test the market. On the running back front, don't expect any dramatic shakeups just yet. Sean Payton seems content with the current trio of R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Tyler Batty. But if the power run game falters, names like Jamal Williams, Dante Foreman, or Gus Edwards could come into the conversation. These guys are proven veterans still sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a call. If Denver needs a boost, don't be shocked if one of them gets a ring-chasing offer. And here's where things start getting even more interesting. Because once you accept that this Luke Wattenberg extension is about more than just keeping a solid center in place, once you realize it's a signal for what's coming, you begin to look around the roster and ask, what's next? Who else is part of this long-term core? And how aggressive is this front office going to be in keeping that momentum alive? Let's not forget what Sean Payton is doing behind the curtain. He's quietly creating a culture that mirrors the foundation he built during his time in New Orleans. A culture of trust, stability, and competitive edge. That starts with keeping your trenches strong. That starts with investing in the guys who get their hands dirty every snap. Luke Wattenberg may not be a household name across the league, but in Denver, he's now a tone setter. A player who went from being a mid-round pick to anchoring an offensive line that's becoming one of the most cohesive units in the NFL. Think about the impact of that. You've got Ben Powers locked in, Quinn Maters locked in, Mike McGlinchey locked in, and now Wattenberg. That's 4 starters under contract through 2026. That's the kind of consistency that lets you run your offense exactly how you want without constantly retooling or reteaching protection schemes. It's not just about keeping your quarterback clean. It's about executing a vision. Sean Payton is laying down the groundwork for what he wants this offense to look like, and it starts up front. But continuity doesn't stop on the offensive line. It extends to the defense, where key decisions still loom. Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton are one of the most underrated linebacker duos in the AFC. While Singleton is seen as a must re-sign, the question is whether Denver can afford both, especially with younger talents like Justin Strnad developing behind them. The calculus gets complicated, but what's clear is this. If Payton values chemistry and consistency, expect Singleton to be the next name we hear in extension talks. Then there's J.K. Dobbins, a player with something to prove, who's shown flashes of being a top-tier back when healthy. Locking him down would give the Broncos a dynamic piece in the backfield rotation, and maybe even pave the way for a more run-heavy attack when winter football hits and conditions demand physicality. And Jaquan McMillan, let's talk more about him. This guy isn't just deserving of a contract extension, he's emblematic of the Broncos' defensive turnaround this season. He's gritty, intelligent, and has made game-changing plays when it matters most. His emergence, along with the impressive performances from players like Chris Abrams-Draine, Johnny Barron, and Riley Moss, gives Denver one of the deepest and most versatile young secondaries in football. McMillan's impact against the Chiefs can't be overstated. He matched up, made key stops, and played like a seasoned vet. That's the kind of guy you reward. That's the kind of guy who becomes a pillar for your defense going forward. And let's not forget what this front office is doing with the bigger picture. They've made it clear they're not interested in a quick fix. They're building for sustained success. Sean Payton isn't here for a rebuild. He's here for rings. And George Payton? He's backing that up with calculated roster moves that ensure the locker room stays aligned with the vision. Now, we can't overlook the fact that there's still some speculation around what Denver might do if the power running scheme starts to stall. The names floating around, Jamal Williams, Dante Foreman, Gus Edwards, are all bruisers who could step in and contribute if needed. But for now, the coaching staff is rolling with R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Tyler Batty. That tells you they trust their young talent. And that's consistent with the message we've been hearing all season: grow from within, reward the grind, and build something sustainable. Let's also touch on the mentality around this team. The question came up, can the Broncos run the table the rest of the season? Odds are around 6 or 7 to 1. But here's the thing, nobody in that locker room is thinking about odds. They're thinking about execution. They're thinking about making a statement. The idea of finishing 13-4 isn't just a pipe dream anymore. It's in play. And with this kind of momentum, with this kind of unity, the ceiling keeps rising. Payton has even laid out clear strategies for games like the potential trap against the Washington Commanders. Start fast. Pressure Mariota. Move the pocket. That kind of preparation and focus shows a team that's not just talented, but dialed in. They've got a plan for every matchup. And as long as they stay healthy and committed, there's no reason they can't push deep into the playoffs, maybe even host an AFC championship game at Mile High. And finally, we can't ignore the emotional core of this team. Von Miller may not be suiting up for Denver this year,